Step inside the vibe, welcome to the flow. From the mind of Lil Joe, where the stories grow. Laid back wisdom, smooth as Sunday brunch. A life authority hits you with the punch. Lil Joe's mind, a maze of gold. From jokes to truth, stories untold. Pull up a chair, let the convo roll. It's the mind of Lil Joe, feeding your soul. Talking about the world from the wild to the mild. Every topic on the table, thoughts free and wild. Chill like a summer breeze, groove so divine. From the cosmos to the corner, all intertwined. Retro funk with a lo-fi swing. Chill rap waves, let the podcast sing. Wisdom laced in humor, truths in disguise. Lil Joe dropping gems, open up your eyes. From late night laughs to early morning rants. Philosophies dance while the rhythm enchants. Relax, kick back, it's the vibe we sow. Straight from the mind of Lil Joe, let's go. Lil Joe's mind, a maze of gold. From jokes to truth, stories untold. Pull up a chair, let the convo roll. It's the mind of Lil Joe, feeding your soul. Lil Joe's mind, a
At
maze
Esther's
of
Place,
gold.
we
From
believe
jokes
in
to
hope,
truth,
healing, and a
stories
brighter
untold.
future for survivors of domestic violence. Our mission is to provide a safe haven for those who have faced unimaginable challenges. Esther's Place is more than just a transition house, it's a sanctuary where women and children who have been displaced can find protection and support. Our dedicated team believes that every survivor deserves a chance to rebuild their life and step into a successful future. We help survivors transition back to a life of independence and empowerment. Together, we stand against domestic violence, creating a community that supports, uplifts, and empowers every individual. Visit us at www.theestersplace.com or call 1-469-305-2100 to learn how you can make a difference. At Esther's Place, we believe that together, we can break the cycle and create a world where every survivor can thrive. Esther's Place is where hope finds a home.
Now, yep, I see the audio. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? I pray everybody is doing well. Fall is creeping up on us. We got what, a week left, week and some change left before daylight savings change go in effect. I kind of like it, but I guess they've been changing the laws. I think this might be our last year with daylight savings. Some people in other places don't know what I'm talking about, but we spring forward. In the springtime, we spring forward 1 hour. In the fall, we spring back an hour. But it's got to do way back in the day with the farming. They changed the time so you can have more daylight. Well, you're not getting any more daylight, but basically you get up earlier when the sun is out, and then when it gets dark earlier, they just switch it back. But a lot of places don't change it. People complain about how tired they are and all that craziness. I don't think it's a big deal. I like the extra daylight hours, but who am I? Go with the flow. If they change it, they change it. If they don't, they don't. Oh well, not the end of the world. But let's get into it. Got a great topic for us tonight. I don't know if you seen it. It's a documentary that just came out. I don't know if it's like right now, but anyway, it might be fairly new. A documentary called The Perfect Neighbor. So we watched that last night with the family, and technically my point of view, or where I'm coming from, I didn't follow the story. I knew about the story, and just from the little bit that I saw on the news, I just came to the conclusion it was wrong. After watching the documentary, I still came to the same conclusion. But I still saw a lot of uh, multiple sides of multiple, one story, but it has multiple sides, multiple angles. So I was able to see a lot of those different sides and everything. And then, being with the family, everybody, most people have their own opinion. So I'm just going to give you my review of it, and people can jump in if they would like. They can jump in with me. Um, so I'm still using this new platform, and see, I don't even know where the chat is. But I guess if somebody put something in the chat, I'll find it. But yeah, I'm gonna get into it. So, know what I should have did? That's what I should have did. Give me 1 second to do something that I should have did. Let me do this. Yeah. And right with you. Just a second. We are talking about The Perfect Neighbor. Like I said, it's a documentary. Okay, so it's going to be a great topic so it's best for people to have discussion. They talk about different things. Talk it out. You don't need to argue, fuss, and fight. But in this particular story, a woman shot another woman through the front door after repeated conflicts with the different people in the neighborhood. The woman who pulled the trigger, she tried to use the Florida's Stand Your Ground law, I believe, in her defense. I think it would have been best if she used the plead temporary insanity, but she tried to use the Stand Your Ground, and when they arrested her, they let her go home, but eventually they arrested. So I'm gonna back up a little bit. If y'all haven't seen the story, it's not like it's a documentary, but it was in the news, so everybody should have knew something about this story, unless you live under a rock or something. So there's this older white woman moved into I think it's a mixed race neighborhood. That's the way it looked to me, but mostly a black and white neighborhood. With a lot of kids, playing in the neighborhoods, all renters and everything. So it was like duplexes and quads. So this particular, I don't know, they call her in the documentary. They call her the Karen. So I call her Miss Karen. I don't know her name. So Miss Karen did not like the kids, all the kids in the neighborhood. And so there can be a discussion there about all the different kids. So should someone put up with a lot of kids playing and running around, or should they just let kids be kids? There's a fine line with that. So that can be a whole discussion right there, especially when a lot of kids get together. And I have some experience with it, like when I was single in my house, and the kids wanted to play between the two houses. It was a big space between two houses, so the kids wanted to play over there sometime. At first, they wanted to play basketball in the street, so I'm fine with that. But I had some, they got the boxes, the electrical boxes, different things from the city, and kids like to sit on, sometimes. So we have one up in my yard over there, and the kids would like to sit on that while the other kids play basketball. I was fine with it, but they would come over there and leave trash. So that started getting on my nerves. Why are you going to come over here, get in somebody's yard and leave trash, in the streets, in the yard and everything. And then sometimes I believe they even got bold enough to even sit on the cars, get on the car hood. Say, no, we can't have all that. So then eventually they went from basketball to wanting to play football. So I let a couple of guys, I think it was like just 2 or 3 boys, lived across the street. Start off with those 3, and then it turned to 5. Then they invited some girls, and now it's about 10, 15 people out there playing football beside the house, throwing the ball hitting inside the house, and people bumping into the house, and people laughing and all that. and I'd be in the house. I put up with it, just let them play. And then when they leave, there we go again. The yard is tore up, trash is everywhere. So I get no respect. So I think I talked to them about it, and they played again. I'm not sure how many times they played in the yard, but then someone talked to me about it, and they was like, "Hey Joe, if one of those kids get hurt in your yard playing football, they could sue you for getting hurt in your yard." Oh no. They shut down the football season right then and there. Like, nope, can't have it. I could see it already. They playing, one of the kids run into the house or break a leg or something, and here come their parents coming to my house talking about what I owe them doctor's bill, and it's my fault because I let them play in the yard. Nah. So I guess they could have called me old man Karen then for not letting them keep on playing football. But now, it's a liability, so, people already, take any opportunity they can. And actually, I was sued because my dog Charlie broke loose one day and bit somebody. I'm not sure how bad it was, but I know they came after me, but they sued my homeowner's insurance. And I took him to the pound before the people could come get him. I thought like the way we used to do it back home in the country. If you wanted to get rid of a dog, you drive way out in the country, let him out the car, and let him figure it out. Hope for the best. But I couldn't do that here, so I did the civilized way and took him to the pound. And I'm like, yeah, he bit somebody, so I had to get rid of him. It's like, so what's gonna happen to him? Is somebody gonna adopt him? It was like, nope, he bit somebody, so he'll be dead by noon tomorrow. Like, man, that crushed my heart. That they was gonna be that quick of putting them down, and I didn't really have a choice. As far as I knew, I knew I couldn't keep the dog with the insurance company getting sued, so I had to let the dog go. Okay, I digress. I get back to the story. So the Miss Karen, like I said, had a lot of interactions with the neighbors and with the children, a lot of yelling, fussing, and even calling the kids names, racial names, and I could tell the kids was agitating her also. So it was a lot of back and forths with that, and probably a bunch of back and forths with the parents. And Miss Karen called the police department several times. She called a lot, so the police was out there a lot. And a lot of times, it's not still what you say, kids just playing. Just let the kids play. Sometimes they might get on your nerves, grind your teeth. Then they're not, destroying anything. They're not breaking in. They're not doing those things. So let them play. So they couldn't report a crime. So that I'm not sure how long that lasted for a while until I'm just fast forwarding, until this situation, the day of the incident. Some say that she pre-planned it, premeditated. I'm not, can't 100% say if she did or not, but I have some belief in my heart that she did. And I believe she also had some people say there's no such thing as white privilege, but there is, especially here in America, there's white privilege. And then even more powerful than white privilege is white woman privilege. That's where a lot of the Karen, white people, they call some women Karens. And you can look back through history, the country with our racial history, the way the country was founded. A lot of white women, they knew that all they had to do is scream or say they was in fear or something minor, and a lot of the white men come to their rescue, and they would tear up everything. They done burn up whole towns. They've hung several different people, just destroyed all sorts of things just because a white woman screamed, that she was in fear. We know the most, as far as I know, the one of the most famous cases is the Emmett Till case, where Emmett Till is from the North. He came to the South to visit his family. Um, a white woman said that he whistled at her. And I really, well, I'm about to say, we don't know if that happened or not, but we do know. So we don't believe that she whistled. All she had to do was she told a bunch of white men that he did. And if you know history, they unalived him. They tortured him, drug him behind the truck, did all sorts of torture to him. And then they unalived him. But his mother, wanted the world to see what was going on down in the South. That wasn't a one-off. That wasn't something that was out of the ordinary. That was something that was normal. And I believe, I'm tying this back to the movie, I believe the woman in the movie knew about those times. She knew about the power that she has, about, just calling. All she had to do was say, a black man did this or black man did that, and white men would come to her rescue. She knew about that. And that's what happened with Emmett Till, many um, other situations. I even know of it's a story, I think it was in Louisiana. It was a black military base. I'm going to tell you this story real quick, and I'll still let people come in. Um, Military base where, it was during segregation, but they let the people of color in the military, but they was in this particular town. And, a lot of times they put a base like in ghost towns. They used to holler nothing in the middle of nowhere, nothing to do. So they were allowed to go into town. So the white military people were able to carry their weapons, but the black officers couldn't. But you shouldn't even need it if you in America just for training. So anyway, so the military men went to this particular town in New Louisiana. They wasn't too happy about the black military people being in the first place. But anyway, long story short, white woman driving on the street. One of the black officers or enlisted men crossed the street. Not sure how close he got to the car, whatever. She's the one in the car, but she said she was in fear when she saw the man of color crossing the street. So she goes and tell the white military people. The white military people, or the people in the town, wanted the black people out. They assaulted, the woman and scared the woman and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it turned into a big brawl, a big fight, and several of the black officers were killed. Like I said, they didn't have weapons, but the white officers did. So they started unaliving a lot of the black officers, starting from a white woman saying that she was afraid for the black man crossing in front of the street. And that type talking is still taught today. It's a lot of um, um, it's not a racial thing, but it's certain people in the white community still teach their family, teach their women, teach their kids to be afraid of black people. Even speakers, people go around the country talking to people. They still have that same talking point. People of color are evil. People of color are dirty. People of color will hurt you. And then especially the men of color, black men are monsters. Black men are evil. So they putting this fear in some of the white people. They have this fear. They're just totally afraid. And that's how the country is acting now. All this fear of what the black people doing, they turn stuff up. We got these peaceful protests and all this stuff, stuff that's going on. There's a lot of stuff going on in the country right now, but they are still being taught that people of color are the evil ones. The people of color are the boogeyman. They're the evil ones. They're the bad people. So you just tie that in. Imagine generation after generation being taught that people of color are the bad people. And I haven't really, but with my last job, I would feel it. I would go to different offices, and I was allowed in. I got my company's van. I got my whole outfit on with the shirt and the hat and the badge, all this stuff showing who I work for. But several times, I want to say at least 10 times, uh, just I've seen when white women see me, just I'm like, so you see all these other people, they fine, but when they see me, they about jump out their skin. And I said, I understand, I get it. They were taught to be afraid of the scary black man. So when they see the scary black man, they jump out of their clothes. And I'm like, man, it's just peaceful. I'm just as peaceful. This whole office is peaceful. Everything's cool. But as soon as they see me, they scared. And it's not like I sneak up on them or anything, or I could be working in a room. It could be anybody in the room working. They used to people going in and out of rooms working. But as soon as they walk in the room and see me, what, uh, who let you in and all this, like, man. But I just, I didn't take it personal. Just kept on going. But my point is taught. It's taught. That fear is taught, and I believe the woman in the documentary was taught to fear people of color, to dislike the people of color. In some point, some people it turns into hate. And I believe for you to be able to pull a trigger behind a door without knowing what's on the other side, that's got to be a level of hate, and wanting to cause bodily harm. Okay, so the story, I think I painted a picture where we at, and then the day of the situation. We don't know the full story, how the kids were in, if they was in a yard, up by a house, really doesn't matter. But it was a situation that happened, and um, an iPad or something was taken from one of the children, and the woman went in and wouldn't give it back to the child. So we know all this tension is going on in this neighborhood. It's gonna be some heat. It's gonna be some problems when that mother come home. They said they already had interactions before. So and I believe it's such the neighborhood, that all the neighbors pretty much know when other people come home. You just look out the window, you see who comes home. So I think she knew what time the mother was coming home, so she was ready. So she called 911 and was telling the police about the situation. But the situation was over as far as she's concerned. But I think she called. I think she called to try to give herself an alibi. And I think what happened in another case, call in alibi. I'm a white woman. I'm fearing for my life. All these wild and crazy people all around me that got my life in danger. So that was that phone call. And they was like, okay, we'll send an officer out there. And they're probably used to her all the time. Like, here we go again. We got to go back out there. So the police probably wasn't in no kind of rush to go over there because there's stuff always happening. So I think the woman knew that the other ladies were going to come bang. I don't know, my banger was going to come to her door, ask for the electronic device. And that surely was happened. So the mother came banging on the door. The Miss Karen said she feared for her life and shot through the door. And the mother passed away from that gunshot wound. So they called 911, the police. Then they was in a rush, so the police came and I'm not sure. Yeah, the police, I think they took her in for questioning, but the mother passed away. So there's 4 sons with no mother. Not sure she was married, but significant other and other, family members and the neighborhood all lost this mother. So Miss Karen was taken downtown, interviewed, released. She went back to the scene of the crime and still continued to live there. I don't think that was a smart thing to do, but that's what she did. So she went back and went back to the neighborhood. I don't know how much time later, I forgot the time, but she was called in again for more questioning. As the more she talked, the more she kind of dug a grave for herself. I believe she was trying to use the stand your ground law that's in Florida. The stand your ground law saying you can you don't have to retreat if you're being attacked. Don't have to retreat. You can stand your ground and cause bodily harm or unalive the person that's approaching you, that's causing harm to you. And there's another law before the stand your ground law. There's if somebody can help me out with that one. It's like a homestead. I'm not sure what you call it, but it's still protecting your home, your resident, your council. So if someone comes inside your house, goes across that threshold, and you have any fear whatsoever of your life, you have every right to unalive them. So that's the front door, and even people trying to break in the back door, the windows, any kind of way of getting into your house. The law is you can use any force necessary, and if it's even unaliving them. And I always say it's probably best to. It's sad, and I hate to be the one saying it. It's a lot of times it's safer for you to have to unalive the person than to cause harm to the person. If you shoot them in the arm and shoot them in the leg, they can turn around and sue you for getting injured on your property. But then if you unalive them, well, you was protecting your castle. Dead man can't talk. You was protecting your castle. So what is that telling you? Yeah, that's a kind of cricket. Yeah, so that's what it is. Do you remember it was a case? I forgot her name. There was a woman of color was having a situation with her ex-boyfriend, a boyfriend or something. He abused her and all this kind of thing. And one day he came over acting crazy, so she pulls the gun out, was trying to threaten him, telling him to leave her alone, tell her to leave. And she shot one shot to prove that she was serious for him to leave. That went to court. She was arrested. She was sentenced to 20 years for pulling that trigger. So now I guess I'll try to tell people that y'all need to know the laws before you get these guns, and know that sometimes the only way you can't, even like the woman in the movie, the kid said that she would pull the gun out and show the gun. You can't do that. Well, I think now in Florida you can carry, you can show your guns, but the concealed law, where the law is, you can't show a gun, you can't brandish a gun and try to threaten someone with a weapon. Basically, you can have all the many weapons as you want, as long as that nobody see them. And then if somebody try to cause you harm, you pull it out. And you're supposed to unalive them. That's kind of like the way the law is hide the gun. You can't tell the person you got a gun. Well, I think, like I said, now I think the law, you can't show the gun. But certain places you can't show the gun, so you can't show the gun. You can't tell the person you got a gun. But if you pull the gun out and show the person the gun, that's brandishing a weapon. So if you pull that weapon out, you better pull it out to be using it and causing harm to the person. And you got to make sure it's just justification. But you cannot just pull it out and show the person, I got a gun, back off. No, now you're gonna get arrested. That's crazy. If somebody can correct me, I'm always open for correction. But I think that's the way the law is. You can't threaten anybody with a gun. Your life got to be in danger. And if you pull it out, you better be ready to use it. And it is sad to say you can't. If you cause harm to the person, they're still gonna come back on you. It's strange. If you unalive the person, it was justifiable. If you shot the person, caused harm, and now we're going to charge you for causing harm to the person. It don't make sense. But okay. All right. So we're at the situation, right? So okay. So she shot through the door. I kind of explained a little bit of my opinion on why. I believe it was her upbringing. I believe it was the she knew the woman was going to come over there to go after her son's, her child's um, um, device. So now when me and my daughter, we was going back and forth because she was like, as a mother, she's going to go over there and bang on the door for her child to get her child's device back. And as a father or as a man, I was saying, don't do that. I say, don't do that. We know, we just use that story as an example. So I go from, I go from the mother's point of view. The mother turns into the mother bear. That's no insult when I say mother bear, because you know, if you around a mother bear and the cubs is around, is a different type bear than if the bear, the mother bear and nobody around. If it's just her, she out there chilling in the woods. She might give you a chance to, go about your business. You can go about hers. You can go about, she go her way and you go your way. We can be all right. But if she got some cubs, especially some new cubs with her, and don't you dare to try to, if you do something to the cub or act like you can do something to the cub, that's a different type bear. That bear gonna rip you up from limb to limb. So that's why I say I like a mother bear. Mothers turn to the mother bear in defense of their children. I understand that, and I think that's a good thing. Uh, but from the man's point of view, I'm looking at the big picture. The big picture is we know the lady on the other side of this door is not all right in the head. We have no idea what she is capable of. We heard the rumors, or the kids said they saw her threaten them with a gun. So there's a possibility, and it's legal for her to have a gun. So that's not assumed as a person don't have a gun. That's assumed the person does have a gun. Um, so I'm assuming the person has a gun. So I would change my approach. So the mother went banging on the door, angry, and wanted her stuff back from her kid's stuff back. I understand. But I was saying, yeah, you could probably do that with all the other mothers in the whole entire neighborhood. You could probably go bang on the door, yell and scream, get my child's stuff back, and they hand it back and cuss them out and go about your business. But I hope they're not crazy enough to try to go in the house and try to fight somebody in their house. That's crossing the line. But I think a lot of people, mothers, want to bang on the door and open the door and fuss and cuss and call all these different names and giving my baby stuff back and blah, all this. And, so it could make it get even more escalated, even if she would have opened the door. So that was my question. What was the mother expecting if she opened the door? So then she opened the door and she's standing there with a gun. I mean, or if she wasn't standing there with a gun, you should say like, "Oh, come outside and fight me," huh? What was you expecting to happen? So my thing, like I said, coming from a man wanting to protect the kids, wanting to protect the mothers, wanting the mothers to continue to be there for the kids, I would advise don't go knock on that door. Not from fear. It's not. I'm not afraid of this crazy lady. The crazy lady got to come out the house. Sometimes I'm so, if I if I let me see, I don't know if I can make me sound, if I want if I don't want this to sound like I'm a creep or something. But if I wanted to do something to the lady, if I wanted to get the lady, she has to come out the house. She got to go to a car or a truck. She had to come out. So I'm patient. I will wait for her to come out. I wouldn't have to go through all the banging on the door. I just be, or when she come home, when she walk up to her door, I already be sitting there at the front door before she go in the house. So I guess I'm on a little crazy side on that side. So I'll be bringing fear to her So I close that back up on let y'all know the crazy thoughts and stuff that I have going on. But yeah, I wouldn't have went banging on the door. I wouldn't advise to go and banging on the door. Um, so the situation happened. It never happened before, so nobody expected a gunshot to happen this time. But as fathers, as men, we're supposed to try to look ahead and try to prevent things from happening. So a father would have been like, no, uh, don't go over there. Don't go over there now. Especially you that angry and that lady was saying that she's in fear for her life. We know those calls. She's fear for my life. She's out threatening me. She's banging on the door. What if you bang on the glass door and the glass door breaks? So that's gonna be charges right there against the mother for going over there doing that. So it could have been a lie, or let's say the lady opened up the door and lied about something else. So there's like I said, so anyway, so the mother could be charged. She could have been charged for something which the stuff could have got escalated. So my thing was try to protect the mother as much as possible. And I would have like, hey, we either if we want to do street justice, we wait till the lady come outside, or we to do it the right way, we call the police and tell them she has my child's stuff in there. We tired. We keep on calling the police on this lady. Will y'all please come out and get our property? She has our property, so she stole our property. So the police will address that. They will go in and search for it, and if they find it, they will get it. I don't know if they can press charges and charge for stealing. Probably can. I don't know if they would have took it that far, but anyway. But yeah, I would have went that route. But that's not the route that was taken. So okay, so what we see in the news is justice for the young lady who was shot. A lot of protests were going on. Looks like it's another case of a person of color getting unalived, and another non-person of color, how you say a white person, causing the death and not getting charged for it. So that's what a lot of people who don't understand what was going on. That's some of the backstory. It's several cases all around the country, like involved with police officers and non-police officers, where the white person unalives the black person, and the white person doesn't have to do any time. So that's why all the protests and what was going on. So they shoot at the interrogation. So the police show all the video of the interrogation, and she mentioned, I'm talking about the Miss Karen was asked, did she know about the Stand Your Ground law? I believe she said she did. Then they asked, did she know about the Trayvon Martin case? And she's like, it's kind of vaguely know a little something about it. I'm not totally sure, but it's almost in the same city where it happened at. So I know she well, I can't 100% say it, but I believe very strongly. She tried to say it was a long time ago, but I mean she did know about it. So she knew about the case, the Trayvon Martin case, and how Zimmerman was able to get he unalived him and was able to get off without serving any time. So I believe that was her strategy, was to do that. But again, like I said, the Stand Your Ground law. Let's say the law says you can use deadly force if you reasonably believe, and there we go. This you reasonably believe your life is in danger, with no duty to retreat. So somebody can have a spoon in their hand, and you can say, I really reasonably believe that my life is in danger, because police officers do it all the time. You can have a pencil and anything in your hand. They that my life is in danger, or the person got a knife or they're way across the field somewhere. Oh, my life was in danger, so I shot him. or they had a knife, they was 100 yards away. There was no way for them to cause any harm to you. But they get off because um, they said their life was in danger because it's kind of vague. As long as they say reasonably believe. So I'm gonna jump over to the Trayvon Martin case. Um, uh, so Trayvon Martin, I went and got it. So you can find the 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 store scene. So the night of the situation, Trayvon went to a football game, and after the football game, he worked at the supplies, anyway, like the volunteer tent, whatever, like with the supplies or something like that. I forgot exactly, but something like that. So so he worked there after the game. So then his father lived in that neighborhood in Sanford, so he had went to the store, and we got footage. I can show you the footage of him in the store buying the Skittles, buying the Arizona drink. Um, so that's look like somebody's going to do some crime. He was going to go back, I guess, going back to his dad's house. So as he's walking back, so one of the situations is raining, and he's known to wear hoodies. A lot of kids, I still don't understand it now, where it'll be 100 degrees outside or more, they walk around with a hoodie on. And then when it's 30 degrees outside, they walk around with short sleeve shirts on. It's strange. But anyway, so he wore hoodies a lot. So he's walking back to his dad's house. So he might not been somebody that's normally in the neighborhood. Because he wasn't living there. He lived with his mother. So George Zimmerman is the neighborhood watch. And he said there were some break-ins going in different the houses. So, okay. So he's saying he sees somebody that's looking suspicious. So what is suspicious? A person of color walking down the street with a hoodie on. Now, you can find the 911 call. They showed the 911 call is readily available also. I found it. I could have played it, but so the 911 call is there, and he calls in. I see somebody suspicious. Look like they up to no good. I don't know how you can tell that. Somebody walking on the street look like they about to do some drugs, about to commit a crime or something like that. So he does just make up some stuff to stereotype. And I'm so, I'm so afraid this person looks suspicious, and I'm afraid, but I think I'm gonna follow him. So people don't follow people if you're afraid. So the officer, the person, the 911 operator told him, do not follow him. Let the officers take care of it. No, he decided to follow him. So he follows him. So now it's no longer standing your ground. So that's the law. It's like if his life is in danger, if danger was coming to him, he have the right to stand his ground and protect himself. But he is going to follow someone. So now I say to stand your ground, move to Trayvon Martin. Now Trayvon Martin is the one that's walking away. He has the right to stand his ground. You see how this works. So people's like, if two people, how do you determine who is the one can stand? Use the stand your ground law. I say the one is retreating or the one is trying to stand their ground. So when Zimmerman decided to leave his apartment, leave his house, wherever, to go follow him, you gave up your stand your ground rights. So now he's following Trayvon. And a lot of people, change it around. And I got the video to show. Even we keep talking about the CK Charlie Kirk. Yeah, Charlie Kirk was like, this man, he hunted down Zimmerman. He hunted Zimmerman down. He attacked him. it was Zimmerman hunting Trayvon Martin down. You see how the story has changed. We got to keep putting that narrative out that people of color are the bad people. The people of color are the boogeyman. So we got to keep putting that out until everybody believe it, until they believe it. The story changes. So if you got a grown man going after a 17-year-old, but a 17-year-old is the threat. So the grown man with a gun is going after the threat that's walking away. Okay. So there's a lot, I think, with there's some time missing between the the 911 call and the situation that happened, and then people heard a shot and some crying, yelling. So this is what Joe Cool put together. I believe Zimmerman went and got to. I think he said was running. I'm not sure. I believe I got to listen to the 911 call again. I'm not sure if he said he was running or not, but I know Zimmerman was like, he's the neighborhood watch. He's the popo of the neighborhood. So he's going to arrest this kid and charge him for breaking into these houses, which he has no right to do. So Zimmerman goes after Trayvon, and then they say he got into a scuffle. So again, why does Trayvon, why doesn't he have the right to defend himself with a guy coming after him with a gun? So can somebody tell me where we can walk down the street? He doesn't have the right to protect himself. So now Mr. Zimmerman said that they got into a scuffle, they got into a wrestling. How can it happen if it wasn't at your property, it wasn't your home? You went looking for a fight. So you went looking for a fight. I guess you was trying to grab him and try to hold him. I guess you wanted to be the hero and have him so the police could arrest him. I hope it, I don't know if it's planned. Well, I can't say he didn't shoot him then, but I know they got into a fight. So what right does he have to keep it? So why would Trayvon just stand there with this unknown man that's most definitely not being friendly, because he's already this is the threat. This is the suspicious person. This is the criminal. So I know his heart, his adrenaline and everything pumping. I think I got him. So now Trayvon is like, oh man, somebody is after me and chasing me. So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to fight for your life. So now they get into a fight, and Zimmerman takes his gun out and shoots Trayvon. And I believe he's the one that's crying out help. Well, no, what Zimmerman said, he was crying out help, screaming help when he got into the wrestling with Trayvon. So how are you gonna call help when you the one attacked him? And it's like you said, it's 2 a.m. Who's out? Who else is out? Like, look, other than teenagers or people coming in and out. But anyway, so I believe Trayvon was crying help after he got shot, and then they said they stopped hearing the person crying out for help. But Zimmerman tried to say that was him. But long story short, Zimmerman tried to say that he was attacked. He was brutally beat up. He got some scratches on his face. So we got a person that's got scratches on his face, and there's another one got a bullet inside of them. So the person with the bullet inside of them can't talk. Dead men can't talk. So they had a trial, and he was able to, I believe, because the way he looked and the support that he got, he was able to use the stand your ground, and he was released. He wasn't charged for that crime. And I'm like, still, how can you use the stand your ground? That's not standing your ground. But it depends on how much money you have, what kind of lawyers you have, and what the jury can look at you. It's a lot. It's a lot that goes on. But people was trying to say that Trayvon, they had some people lying on stage, lying in court, and lying in court and different things. So it wasn't true. And Trayvon was a evil person. He was a bad person. And it really doesn't matter. For one, was he trying to break into Zimmerman's house? No. Was he trying to break into anybody's house? No. Was he trying to cause harm to anybody? No. So somebody lying later on in court by him having tattoos, or him putting up gang signs on social media, or recordings of him cussing people out. It doesn't matter. But what they do, they try to go make the victim become um, the criminal. So that's what happens a lot of times. They got to smear the victim. We got to make the victim look like the monster. So that's what they try to do. They start trying to bring up all these different things and showing how bad Trayvon was. He was a bad person. So again, what bad person deserves to be shot for walking home coming from the store? And now we go to the case of we got these people. Oh, these people picking at Charlie Kirk. Picking at Charlie Kirk. Do you know this? A lot of people had Trayvon Martin Halloween costumes. And what I mean by Halloween costumes, the pictures are still there. They would lay on the ground with the Arizona drink. I think it's watermelon Arizona, whatever. And the packs of Skittles, and lay stretched out on the ground like as if they were shot. So a lot of evil people were happy that Trayvon was killed. Zimmerman was like their hero. Zimmerman went on a speaking tour. A lot of different podcasts in different places invited him to come on. So they was patting him on the back for unaliving a young black kid and not having to spend the time in jail for it. He was a hero. Probably still is. A lot of people dislike him, but there's also other people who praise him, admire him for what he did. And they say, yeah, you protected the neighborhood. So again, if you have people like the Kirks who tell their people that people like Trayvon is monsters, all black boys, all black men are monsters, and then someone like Zimmerman comes along and kills the monster, of course he's a hero. So don't come at this talking about they didn't treat him like a hero. They did. They still do. He slayed the dragon. He killed the monster. If you're constantly getting taught a particular people or a particular person is a monster, and you finally got somebody that was able to kill one, he's your hero. That's sad, but that's what it is. So I'm not sure if the lady, going back to the Karen story, I'm not sure if she was treated like a hero but some people probably still do. They can look at the video footage. They can probably even look at a documentary. They can see all them bad kids running around, why them kids playing, they shouldn't be playing in the yard and all that. And that lady had no reason to come to her house, bang on the door. I would have shot her too. I would have shot her multiple times. So yeah, some people are quite happy that the mother was shot. That's sad, but true. And many of those people call themselves Christians and be up in the church on Sunday morning, first thing, sitting on the front row. But they are happy that their mother was unalive. That is sad for us to be in a country like that, but that's true. So those are the two situations. Now the mother is gone. The Karen is in jail. Oh, I found it. I see. The I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I saw a message. Someone said, let me see. I'm sorry. You said I'm sorry. Uh, there it is. Oh, that was messed up. Halloween. Yeah, it's a lot of those. You can find those pictures where, yeah, they would. That's what they're Halloween. They do. They find some stuff that happened to people of color getting unalived, and they dress up as that for their Halloween costumes, or do it at their frat parties and Halloween parties and stuff. So now they're going to talk about how evil liberals are because a person here and there says something about Charlie Kirk, when you probably could find thousands of people, making fun of different cases like that, like the Trayvon Martins with the Skittles, dressing up with the Skittles and the drink, just non-caring. But that makes you think, how can somebody get to that point? If you constantly taught that the person, the skin color, look at that. I'm proud of my skin color. But if you constantly taught that just that skin color is the problem, you should fear the skin color. So of course you can celebrate when one of them is taken out. That's sad. So I was gonna get some of the feedback. So what? I see. Yeah, what's your feedback on the mothers going there to defend their children, to defend their child? Any response on that? I know that was the big issue. Like, yes, she should go. Um, they should go and defend their child, and I agree with that. But do y'all think or say that she should have went and knocked on the door like that? I know a lot of men will like, hey, I'm upset. I'm going to defend. I'm going to take care of my child right now. But the child is not in immediate danger. So that's what I'm saying. So if your child is over there, let's say the lady um, brought the child in the house. Oh, that's yeah. Now I'm turning into a mama bear. Um, if the lady took the child in the house and I'm banging on the door, I'm gonna give him about 2 seconds. I keep on telling y'all may start thinking I'm crazy. I'm giving about a good 2 seconds. And if the door not open, I'm coming through the window. It's the closest brick. The closest brick is going in first, and I'm coming in second. So there ain't no banging on no door. But yeah, hold on. Okay, I think your first instinct is to get the tablet back. I, yes, I agree, but so I think that's where that's stability. The man and the woman's are, yes, you're upset. I agree with you. We're gonna get the tablet back, but the way the tensions are high, and the mother is angry that something was done to my child, so I'm gonna go and take it back right now. I'm gonna go defend my child, but I don't think it's wise to risk your life over a tablet. That's what I'm saying. Your child is not in. So if the child was in there, 100% we going in. we ain't waiting for the police. Well, I guess we do need to know if the child. We need more. We need an eyewitness that the person went in there, and hear especially if you hear your child in there screaming. Yeah, we going in. I'm not waiting on the police. Not doing none of that. We going in, and if it's gunshots that have to deal with, you just got to deal with that when we get inside. But if your child has been taken on the inside, I'm going in. So I'm with that. But I'm saying, on the other side, what I'm thinking, you got restraint because it's a tablet and we got time. We can negotiate and get the tablet back. And again, if she don't want to come out, she got to come out sometime. The next day, she coming out, or she's coming out. Um, so here's a question. Does the stand your ground make people safer or more afraid to be in the world? Does it make people safer or does it make people afraid? There are some stats that they show in the movie. They show that unaliving of people in Florida shot up dramatically. I forgot the numbers, but it's so many. Um, there's multiple cases of white people using the stand your ground law to unalive a lot of black people. So they was like, okay, now we got this, a get out of jail free card. All I have to do is say I was reasonably afraid. I was reasonably fearing for my life. And I imagine a white judge, I'm sorry, I don't want to make this all racist, a white judge that was brought up in fear of black people. And then you see a white person and they show a picture of, oh, that was a big scary black person. Ooh, you did fear for your life. Okay, yeah, you stood your ground. That's crazy. So now, yeah, so let me see. Um, yeah, so most, as we see in that situation, certain people, yeah, they feel more safer because they feel like they can, um, they can unalive people and use this stand your ground law. But a lot of us can't. Uh, so anybody else, any more comments on, as a mother, what would you do in that situation? So I told you, as me, I guess I still hear a lot of mothers saying that they would go and knock on the door. Where's my clock at? I got to get used to this new program. The clock, there it is. Oh, okay. Um, so yeah, I told you what I would do as a father in those situations. I would have waited. It was really nothing that we can really talk about on the Trayvon Martin case. Is I believe Zimmerman should not have went and unalived the teenagers walking through his neighborhood, and then they was able to let him go. I'm still not sure. It's got to be all the stuff that they try to bring up and say how horrible and how evil and how dirty and all this stuff about Trayvon. So now we got to make Zimmerman look like the perfect ideal citizen. So we got to protect the ideal citizen, protect him from the young black monster. I believe that was that case, but it didn't turn out that way for the perfect neighbor. So the perfect neighbor, um, again, she shot through the door. I think that was her downfall. I believe if she would have opened that door, things probably would have been different. So again, I think we having a consensus over that we don't think that everything is equal to everyone. Um, so I know my time is up. I want to ask this question. What's the difference between self-defense and aggression disguised as fear? So I think a lot of people do that. I think that's why a lot of people are unalive. What's the difference between self-defense and aggression disguised as fear? With people saying that they're so afraid, but they're still going after people. I'm fearing for my life, but I'm going after. I'm going. Y'all seen those cases where somebody go and do something after somebody, but at the same time talking about how afraid you were. But I'm gonna end it there. I still have some more to talk about. We can talk about this. Go down a little bit deeper. But that's us. That's the review of The Perfect Neighbor. Um, no, yes, it was a lot of people talking. I guess I see a lot of people talking about it online, but I guess people don't know that I'm talking about it right now. For them to join in the conversation. But we will continue the conversation at a later date. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. So everybody have a good night and Lil Joe out.